Welcome to StreamSemester.com's Teaching to the Test Pattern. Here is your host, Tom White. Really, that's all you want me to say? Nothing about the show? Just here's Tom? Conceited much?
Hey, buddy, this is Teaching to the Test Pattern. I'm Tom White, and we're still in Albertville. I've taken over Billy Dunn's studio for this week, and I'm joined by my good friend Mark Hendren from Helena High School in Alabama. Mark, thank you so much for your time.
I am happy to be here. Also, that open was very Tom White.
Conceited much? So we're still here for the boot camp, and you didn't have anything in your hands, and I was like, let's go do a podcast.
Okay.
And here we are. So
Yeah.
Tell everybody who you are, what you do, and a little bit about your program.
I'm Mark Hendren. I am the broadcasting teacher at Helena High School. For the last 2 years, I was the advertising design teacher because that's what they had established. But starting the new program, gearing it towards my career started when I was 11 years old. Started doing television in my church and caught the bug and loved every minute of it and have been doing it ever since. That was 1989, and did some stuff at Mississippi State, got on with sports television, was able to shoot for ESPN when I was in my teens, being able to work at WLBT in Jackson, Mississippi, and then all 4 of the TV stations in Birmingham, doing news photographer, investigative photographer, commercial producer, promotions producer. I owned my own business for a little bit in there. As my students say, Mr. Hendren, what haven't you done? Because I was also a volunteer firefighter in there somewhere and a few other things, just random stuff. It's, whatever interests me, I kind of dive into it. So.
Gotcha. And you're in year 3 in the classroom.
Yes.
Talk about your transition. Talk about going from news to ad design, and now you're doing the broadcast stuff.
The transition was, it's something that I've always loved doing. I've always loved, if we have an intern in there, I've always loved grabbing them and being like, come on, you're going under my wing. And if they latch onto it, I'm like, okay, let me feed you. So I feel like I've always been that teacher at heart. Jumping into the classroom, what I've told people is it is the hardest and most fun job I've ever had. It is so much more than anybody who's never done it can imagine. But it is so very rewarding. It is so much fun, when you get those kids. I'm changing rooms this year, and I had a kid who's been with me all 3 years, and she looked at me and she was like, "No, that's my happy place. You can't change rooms." I'm like, "I'm gonna make the other one really cool." She's like, "No." So, but it has been so very cool. It's definitely better for my family life, for me personally. My commute went from 50 miles a day to 0.8.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's nice. The school's literally in my backyard. My daughter was there for her last 2 years of school, the last 2 years, not this year, but so I got to be there with her for her junior and senior years and watch her graduate. And that was, my son's about to be there year after next. So I'll be there for his entire high school career. So I feel like it's been better for my family, but it is definitely a roller coaster ride that I'm sticking my hands up and going, let's go. And it's just been a lot of fun.
Gotcha. And if you can probably hear it in your headphones, because I can hear it. We took over the room. Like I just so the listeners and viewers will know that the voices they hear are not on purpose. We just told them to get out. We were going to do a podcast, so they're trapped in the control room. And,
you sure those aren't the voices in my head?
Those aren't the voices in your head. I could definitely hear Justin in there. We're here at boot camp. We got some free time because everybody's working on a project, and you got done early because y'all skipped lunch essentially. Y'all didn't leave, right?
I didn't leave. They left and went and got something, came back. I brought my lunch because I have a child in college.
I get that. I get that completely.
You know that feeling.
If I didn't have a per diem, I would have been right here with you, eating just pounding munchkins.
Yeah.
So in a minute, Alex and Justin and Brian will probably come through here and be noisy, but
we'll make fun of them. It's fine.
We'll make fun of them for sure. So in your transition and in your program, you went from ad design to TV. What's been the biggest adjustment there? I mean, because in ad design, it's a lot different than the broadcast side, and obviously broadcast is your passion. So talk about kind of the difference in the two there.
I think those first couple of years, I had definitely print component. I knew that last year I knew that I was going to be changing to broadcast. So in both years, I integrated some video components because, I mean, it's advertising. There's still video in advertising, so it was important to know some of those things and some of the camera techniques and that kind of stuff. But going solely video this year, oh, here they come.
Oh, here they come.
They're noisy.
Bunch of jerks. They know we're doing a podcast.
Just making all the noise. Now you can come.
No, we've already told everybody you're coming through.
The audience knows you're here. So
yeah, we learned earlier that there's no fire exit from that one door to the other door, and that got them in trouble.
Compliance.
Yeah.
But no, going into a fully broadcast program, it's kind of a double-edged sword for me because I'm so passionate about video. It's like, oh, I can get this, and I can get this, and I can get this, and I can have them do this, and I can have them do this, and it's like, I've learned this year that I need to slow my roll and just really hammer home those basics, those foundations, and be able to let the kids do and let them mess it up and make crap and be happy with crap, and it's fine.
That's been a theme this week.
I know. That's I did my presentation with called theme. Lighting with Crap because, not just in education, but in small news stations, whatever it is, you don't have a budget. And a lot of people, my first news station, I didn't have a light kit in my car. And that was the #1 station in Mississippi. But I did not have a light kit. So I found when we switched cameras, we had a whole bunch of Frezzi video lights and the batteries that went with them. So I kept those in my car, kept the batteries charged, and I used Frezzi top lights on stands, like ratty old Lowell stands that I found in a corner somewhere, and that was my light kit.
That's one of the things that people don't understand is even in I worked for what is now iHeartRadio, and you freaked me out. I didn't know it was there. But you think these massive companies, TV stations that are killing it in the ratings, would have all the tools you need, and a lot of times they just don't, and that's part of kind of their success is that they don't do those little things. It's kind of wild.
Yeah, I did work when I worked at ABC 3340 as a news photographer. I will say I had a light kit that was everything I needed. It didn't have everything I wanted, but I had 3 Lowell Pro lights, a 650, and then gels and stands and a backpack. So I could make a kit, and I could do things that I wanted to do with it. So I was definitely the best, most well stocked as far as light kits as a news photographer there. And then I went to CBS 42 and was able to get the capital budget a few times. So
there you go.
By the time I left, we had some lights.
Very cool. So what are you looking forward to this year as you're getting ready for the 26-27 school year?
I'm telling myself as I go into this planning period, for me, I want to be consistent and structured. I feel like those were the things I lacked this past year was consistency, whether it be consistency in the way that I'm running the lessons or class to class. I felt like I was all right with that. But like consistency in grading, consistency in the way that I'm teaching lessons, the way that I'm approaching different students and being a little bit more objective. And that's where the structure comes in, building out that structure so that hopefully I have a better plan going in. And for the students, I want to emphasize creativity and curiosity. I want to hammer those 2 words from the get-go. Be curious. If you see me doing something, setting up lights, doing whatever it is, come over and ask me what I'm doing. That has been one of the things that has kind of baffled me over the last 3 years is I'll be setting up, big lights and a boom pole and microphones, and I'm bringing out this cinema camera or I'm balancing a gimbal or whatever it is, and kids are like, let me play cool math games. And I don't want to sound like I'm harping on that. I do have those kids who come up and are like, "Ooh, show me how to do this. I want to play with this thing." But I feel like those are in the minority, and I trying to challenge myself with the ability to get kids to say how, why, whatever it is, and think.
And we talked about that earlier in one of the sessions, is that, never has information been so easy to get. And it just is, I guess and I have kids and you have kids, and it's one of those things where it's like they just take it for granted.
Yeah. I don't know what we did with our kids. Our kids are curious in a lot of ways. My daughter she's 19, she's a freshman at Auburn. And she is into plants. She's studying horticulture, and she's come home for the summer, and she's like, that's a Latin name. That's a Latin name. And she's just reciting all of these things, and she's passionate about it. She's found that thing that she's passionate about. And, I think my son does that with Lego right now. He's 13 and loves Lego. And I'm sure there are other things too that he's passionate about, but he'll dive into those things, and I guess that's because my passion, since I started doing this, I've been passionate about it. I've been, when I started in my church and I was 11, I'm up here on the top camera that doesn't move a whole lot. Well, I see that camera. They do the zoom. I want to run that camera.
Want that one.
Yeah, I want to run that camera. I want to figure out how to do the real cool zoom. And run that camera with I want to learn how to run a camera on my shoulder. And got to college, I had run cameras on my shoulder, but there was one night we were at a basketball game, and this is probably what got me the job at sports television at Mississippi State. Guy that was supposed to run the camera down low, that was shooting highlights for all the TV stations around the Southeast, didn't show for whatever reason. And I was like, I can do it. And when I tell you those basketball highlights were crap, they were crap. But that was the beginning. And fortunately, the guy that was supposed to show up, I don't know what the reasoning was. I'm not trying to throw him under the bus. He's a great friend. To this day, he's a great friend. He actually came back and showed me, okay, you zoom in on this, you pull out this way, this is what I do, this is how I do it, and really grew into me. And that's, I think, when you asked what the transition is, I've had so many people that have mentored me in my career. Mark Rolfe, that's the guy he was the student worker. He wasn't there that night. He came back, he taught me. Benny Ashford, he ran the video production or the sports television program at Mississippi State for decades. Jim, why is my brain not recalling his name? Jim Duncan at WLBT. He was the chief photographer there, had been there for 40 years. It just poured into me. And there's so many others, but those are the three that, like, early on in my career that I can really point to as being, those are the ones that really made the difference and really poured into me. And if I can be that for somebody else, whether it's an adult, another teacher, one of my kids, whatever it is, that just makes me happy.
Yeah, that's your motivation. That's
your
why. You touched on something in there that I literally shared with my son last week, and it's something I stole from assistant principal, that availability breeds opportunity.
Yeah.
And because you were available, you got the opportunity.
Yeah.
And I was harassing my son. He's working for our company this summer, and he's 19. His job's great. I'm so jealous of his job. He just makes cables all day. So he just sets his phone up and he's cranking away at SDI cables and XLR cables all day. And it was lunchtime, and he went to his office and just sat and ate lunch. And I was like, no. You go in that break room. Well, nobody was in there. You go in that break room and you have conversations with people and you learn things. And he's like, oh, I'm like, dude, just do it. But that availability, that's something that as I talk with teachers a lot, is that students don't take advantage of those opportunities. And Billy Dunn and I were talking this morning about, for us in our generation, failure is not an option meant we were going to fight through. And I think this current generation, and I'm not bashing them, but failure not being an option just means I'm not going to get involved. And, I'm going to get involved just enough to where I can't fail because I'm not doing enough to fail. I'm just doing enough to I tried it. It's like, well, did you the first time you walked, you sucked at it. First time you did this, it probably wasn't a lot of fun because you weren't good at it.
I mean, I told my kids this year, I'm like, I don't care if these suck. They're going to suck. It's your first time doing it. It's supposed to suck, And
it's supposed to be difficult.
Yeah, and it's not supposed to be easy. It's not supposed to be something you can go in and they're like, oh, Premiere Pro, it's just too difficult for me. I'm like, okay, where are you getting hung up? I don't know. It's just all of it. And I'm like, no. There's some point where you're like, okay, I know how to do this. I know how to do this. I know how to do this. Oh, I can't figure that out. Let's start from there, and then I can work you into it. But I don't know what that was, and that's hard for me because that's not the way my brain thinks. And so I think that when you ask like what the transition, trying to figure out how to explain something that makes sense in my head to someone who has no idea what I'm talking about.
Yes.
And sometimes, has no drive to know what I'm talking about.
Yes. And it's frustrating because for you and I, our brain is set to that. I'm going to plow through and figure it out. And it's hard. It's hard to do that and be like, and be nice. That's for me, it's hard to be nice when I do that because I'm like, I just want to strangle them. Like, it's not that hard. Just shut up and do it. Just go get the job done. And it's not going to be good, but that's okay. You're not. If you were professional grade, you don't need me to be here. And that was a hard lesson for me to convey to the kids. Is you're supposed to be terrible.
Yeah.
But I forgot where I was going with that. But you're supposed to be terrible. You're supposed to be awful, and not supposed to be fun at all. So what are things that you're seeing, as you're teaching and as you're talking with other teachers, with your news brain, what are things that you see other schools doing that you think that should be more widely done, or something that shouldn't be done anymore as kind of the audience changes?
Wow, that's a deep one. Gut answer, the PBL stuff. The PBL stuff that I saw, I was immersed in it, but seeing how you can get buy-in if the project's created correctly, and that's a big if. But having that end goal that is beyond write me a paper or do these math equations or whatever it is, and seeing some of the examples they gave us in the course that I took this year, where it's gone cross, so it's in a cluster. So you might have your math teacher, your English teacher, and your CTE teachers all working together. So like I'm thinking we have history teachers who do podcasting projects every year, and inevitably, and then we also have history teachers who do political ads for the Roman Empire, who to vote for, why you should vote for Caesar or whatever. And I'm like, that's PBL.
Yeah.
And that could be cross, co-curricular PBL for me and you, but it's we would have to sit down, and my PLC is very monotonous because it's the guy in the mirror. Those of you who are not in education, that's professional learning community.
And to those that didn't get the joke, he's the only one in his professional learning community, which is the case for probably 70% of video teachers.
Yeah, which is going back to why we're here at the boot camp.
The project-based learning stuff, I didn't know what I was doing when I started teaching. And so I just came in and I was like, we're going to do work. And one of my administrators, my evaluator that year was like, you do such a great job with project-based learning, and you did it and differentiate. I had no idea what I was doing. I just knew that, like, we're going to go do these projects, and these kids get it, and these kids don't. So I'm going to leave these kids alone. And they were like, oh, differentiation was amazing. I'm like, what is differentiation? They were like,
you didn't have the edge you speak down.
I had no, like, so I started teaching in October to a group of students who had had a sub since July.
Ooh.
And literally boardroom to classroom in 48 hours. I was in radio on a Friday and in a classroom on a Monday, and I showed up my first day with 75 of the best PowerPoints ever. And I think I got through 4 of them.
Yeah.
And I'm like scraping kids off the ceiling. It was very quick that I was like, we got to go do something.
Yeah.
And
I kind of went to the same direction, you know, and it was like standards and you got to have this. And it's like, yeah, I don't know. I'm not, you know, because I had this idea of what teaching was in my head and, you know, classroom. And it's like, but this is not regular classroom.
No.
And I think that has been a hard thing for both me to learn and also for people to grasp is, you know, CTE, it's not shop class anymore.
No.
It's so much more than that. It should be real world based. And so it should have a goal like we would have in work environment. And I would say that's what I'm working towards. You know, trying to instill that culture, especially when you're still learning about it as a teacher.
Yeah.
Trying to create that culture, especially in an environment where students, they aren't exposed to that. They're never exposed to that. They're exposed to traditional classrooms. And I think, I don't know what the answer is. I'm not, you know, I've been doing this for 3 years, so I'm not the expert. But coming from industry and seeing how I worked and seeing how a work environment is run, I'm like, how can we adapt our classroom environment to be more like that? And that's where I see the project-based learning helping. It's like, okay, your end goal is not to get the grade. Your end goal is to learn something while creating something that will be graded.
Yep. And, you know, and for me, I always harassed the students, and I was like, you know, your grade's fine. It'll take care of itself. But at the end of the day, I'm going to put what you create on the internet for the world to see. Like, I'm going to. And if it's terrible, people are going to see that. So find that I don't want to be embarrassed button and hit that button and find some give a crap. That was crap comes back again. Again, that's the theme of the week. But find some give a crap. And it worked because one of the things that I always stressed was, your grade will take care of itself. And everything you do in here is used. Like, it's not going to die in the grade book. Like, if you make a package on the football team, I'm going to put it on the show. Good, bad, or ugly, as long as it's, you know, within guidelines of taste more than anything. But you're a student. It's supposed to be terrible. You're supposed to be learning from this. And it took a long time for me to get, you know, we've talked about this a couple times, to get past myself of just let it go. Mm-hmm. Let it go. You've got a kid, and you see how the kids dress. You see how they do their hair. They're not mature yet. They're not brilliant. They're not talented. They're not smart. They make bad decisions, but give them something that they can take pride in. And that was if you had to describe the culture of my classrooms, it was pride. It was take pride in what you do, and everything else will take care of itself.
Yeah, that's where I'm going with the structure and the consistency. Is I want to have that, hey mom, I did this moment.
Yeah.
And try to give as much of that as I can, so that kids can be like, see, I did a thing, you know, especially those kids that maybe don't get that as often.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I used to target the middle. Like, I was like, I want that kid that no teachers think about, no teachers worry about. They don't go to special meetings. They don't get invited to things. They're not going to be at awards night, but they're also not in an IEP meeting. I want that middle. And that's where I found my gold was the kids who they get overlooked. They're not they're not going to be winning awards, and they're also not in the principal's office once a week. So they don't have a team of people rooting for them. They're just kind of okay, they're going to be okay. So that was always my goal, and it felt good at the end of their career when they're like, "You were the only teacher that talked to me." And I'm like, "Yeah, good. That was the goal. That was definitely the goal." So anything you want to share about Helena before we wrap up and send you back downstairs and
hopefully finish up our project.
Hopefully
here.
your video's
what time
done.
it is. Yeah, maybe it's done. 3 or 4. I was going to add some graphics maybe, but we'll see.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
Yeah.
They've probably done it. You're working with professionals.
Yes, we'll see.
Yeah.
You know, I got to be a group member. That's not that wasn't a pan on my group members.
No.
They'll do fine. I'm just really excited to see where we're going. I moved rooms, got a new studio, so I'll be in 2 different rooms instead of 1 room this year. I can lock things up, so I'm happy about that. But I'm really excited to see what the kids can do as we grow, like our video board program at football. We're going to have 4 cameras and replay and graphics and
Tums.
pray for me.
Rolades. Heartburn. Indigestion.
You know what? The good thing is I'm not starting at 0 with that. I have a good base group who's been doing it with a couple of cameras and vMix for a couple of years. All girls.
Oh.
Yeah.
Something
No
to be said
guys
for
want to
that.
do it.
Something to be said for that.
Yeah, but they've been a very solid group of girls. A few of them graduated last year, so I will miss them. But I've got one who's going to be a senior who's done it all 4 years.
Wow.
So I'm another guy who runs our Helena City News said, "Oh, what do you think about her as an intern?" I said, "You cannot have her.
No, she's mine.
No, I
She's
will
mine.
not let you."
Yeah, she's mine. Funny. Where can people see your stuff?
Right now, you can search for Husky TV on YouTube. I do have a personal channel, just Mark Hendren on YouTube, if you want to see some old crap that I shot as a news and commercial producer. I'm on Facebook. I'm not on Instagram anymore because it was a time suck. We have Husky TV on Instagram. And then the Mr. Hendren channel is like my education YouTube, but I don't have a whole lot on there that's public because I use it just basically to share stuff for kids. But
Gotcha.
here and there.
Hendren, Hendren.
Oh, look at that. You got it right.
Yeah. Just, it wasn't for me. It was for them.
Yeah. Well, I have someone who's been the parent of one of my students for 3 years, and she spells it with an I, and I don't have the heart to tell her. I love you. You are a fantastic student mom, but you spell my name wrong.
Every time. I did that for a coach, a head football coach.
Nice.
For 2 years. I spelled his name wrong every day.
Oops.
On the air. Nice. And finally one day during a coach's show, he just looked at me and went, "Why do you spell my name wrong?"
Like, why did you wait 2 years to tell me?
Why did you wait 2 years to tell me? Well, Mark, I appreciate it, and thank you so much, and good luck next year.
Thank you.
All right. Hey, here's your favorite voiceover artist.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wait. You need an outro too? Let me guess. Thank you for watching Teaching to the Test Pattern, a stream semester production. I'm done. Call my agent and tell them never again.